Hello everyone, welcome to my video. Today I wanted to share with you my thoughts about these Knitter's PRIDE-ZING knitting needles that I purchased the other day. I did get a chance to use them and I knit a hat with them, and I really did enjoy using them. I thought that they were really nice to work with. They felt really nice in my hands when I was working with them. The knitting needle is pretty smooth, and the yarn does slide nicely and easily across the needle. It doesn't, there's maybe a little bit of a texture, but nothing to really slow the yarn down. And it's not so slick that a new knitter couldn't use these. These would be perfect for a beginning knitter or an advanced knitter. Anybody can use them. They're nice. I wouldn't say they're slippery, where the yarn will just fall right off of them. But they were really nice in working with the particular yarn I was using. And I really like the colors. All of the Knitter's PRIDE-ZING knitting needles are color-coded by their size. And both pairs of these knitting needles are 6mm. And this color is the purple velvet. It's like a metallic. And they were really pretty. It may look more like a burgundy on the camera, but it is a purple metallic. And the tip of these knitting needles is solid. It is not added to the knitting needle. It is part of it already. It's made that way. And the tip is not colored. They are left silver. And I like that because I was able to see my stitches really good when I was knitting. I could make sure I had the tip of the needle in the stitch and not between stitches. And I could also make sure that I had the yarn wrapped around the tip, so that when I went to pull it through the stitch, and I really like that. Another thing about the tips is that they have this nice, longer, slender taper to them, and that worked really good when I was doing the decreases on my hat. So if you're doing increases or decreases, I think they would be fine for lace also. They're not as sharp as some of the other needles are, such as the Chalgu or the Haya, but they were sharp enough. But they're not so sharp that you'll hurt your finger when if you push your needle a lot. And I'll turn it up where you can kind of see that tip there and see the nice gradual taper. So that was really nice. Now, one thing about these needles is they are made out of aluminum, and they're not stainless steel, and they're not wood or laminated wood or bamboo. They are aluminum. And it didn't bother me. I'm more of a quiet knitter. I'm not very athletic when I knit. I'm more just a gradual, slow knitter. But some people, if they really knit vigorously, they may not like it. I didn't have any problem with this sound when I was knitting because I'm a slower knitter. So this would bother some people, the sound of the needles. But it didn't bother me because I'm like I said, I'm a quiet knitter, and I don't, I knit slowly. Now, one thing, if I can fix it where you can see it, if we were to take a look at this join, you may not be able to see it on the camera. But this join is not quite as smooth as some of the knitting needles I have. If you can see that there. I had no trouble at all with that, with the yarn that I was using. And this is a thicker needle, so it was a thicker yarn, a bigger yarn. But I can catch my nail on that. But in all fairness, I do have some other Knitter's Pride knitting needles that have a smoother join, so it could just be this particular needle here, maybe not this particular brand or style, and it could vary from needle to needle. So I'm not sure about that, but I had no trouble. My yarn went just as smoothly across that. But if you were using a smaller needle, with a smaller yarn, maybe that could be a problem. But like I said, I do have other Knitter's Pride knitting needles that do not have an issue at all there. So, I wouldn't not buy them because of that. It could vary once in a while, just as in, some products, you may have some variation there. So I'll show you some of my other needles that I have and the joins on them. I only have one pair of Hayahayas. They're a size 7. But smooth as silk. Nothing to catch. Just as smooth as it can be. I have a pair of Chalgoos. Also, these are very smooth. And here are my Takumi bamboo needles. Very smooth. Now here is another set of, these are Knitter's Pride. I can't remember which one this is, but this one is smooth as silk. So my zings could just be that particular needle that I purchased. It's probably not on all of them because these are very smooth. And this is Knitter's Pride also. So they are smooth. Now, if I were to show you some of the tips on these needles to compare them, this is a size 10, 6mm Takumi here. And you can see they have a relatively nice taper. Not overly sharp. But these Takumi bamboo knitting needles, they drag so much, and my hands do sweat. And with the drag on the yarn, if my hands start sweating, I cannot use them at all. And I could use these Zing knitting needles when my hands were sweating, because they were smooth enough that I could use them. And here are my Hayahayas. Now this is a smaller knitting needle, but still, it's a lot sharper tip. And you can, if you're a pusher, you can hurt your finger with the Hayahayas, or at least the smaller ones. This is a size 7. So I wouldn't want to be pushing that one a lot with my fingertip. And this is a size 7 Chalgoo on the left. And you can see the long taper on there. They do not hurt my fingers if I push on them. But the Chalgoos and the Hayahayas are stainless steel. Those are on the left, which you can tell they're silver. They are stainless steel, and these Zings are aluminum. Now, as far as the price goes, for this set of 8-inch DPNs and these 16-inch circulars, the DPNs were $6.59 and the 16-inch fixed circular was $7.39, which was $12.58, and I got a discount off of that, a 10% discount. So they're not overly pricey. If I had bought the Chalgoo, the same size DPNs and the same size fixed circular from the same company, they would have been $14 each. And I really, if I could have any knitting needles that I wanted and get all the sizes, I would get the Chalgoo. But for the price and for the quality and for the beauty of the knitting needle, these are worth the price. And these are an affordable knitting needle, and they do have a lot of advantages to them. So I do recommend the Knitter's Pride Zing. They're good for beginners. They're good for advanced knitters. Anybody that does, and these, even though they're aluminum, they do work better for me than the Boy knitting needles or the Susan Bates. These are far better than those that you might would buy at maybe say Walmart. But I do like the needles. I do recommend the needles. And they're cheap enough that you could try a pair. So I do recommend get a set. If you only get one set, just get a set to try and see what you think of them. And if you do try them and you like them or you don't like them, please let me know in the comments below, because I would like to know what your opinions are. And if you've used any of the other Knitter's Pride knitting needles, leave a comment below and let me know what your favorites are, because it's kind of good to know what everybody else is using and what they like. And the reason I decided to use these was because of Sheila's Knitting Tips and Other Stuff, her channel. She had gotten some of them, and she was talking about them. And so check her channel out. And also, if you would check out the Silent Crocheter, she bought some of these knitting needles, and I hope she'll do a review on hers too and see what her thoughts are after she uses them. So check those channels out and see what you think of them, because I like watching them. And thanks everybody for watching my videos and for returning and for your comments and for the likes. Thank you everybody. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.